Hola, mi familia. I have identified what I believe to be the primary value, um, kind of creating the friction we're encountering, the source of all our troubles, and I intend to engage it directly and try to cut it. Of course, I'm doing this via video. I can write articles, but I mean, it's the same problem. I have to be able to get people to actually watch the videos, in order to get my point across. But if I can get my point across, I'm confident I can take care of this problem and get us moving a hell of a lot faster. However, in order to do that, I have to cover a few bases first. So, um, this video, we're going to speak to where the term spotter comes from, what it means, in general, why we use it, and going to speak to the nature of the initiative and operatives in general, and try to cover color coding as a base of our curriculum, at least the basics of it. So, color coding 101 here. Honest stuff, yeah, okay. Very charming, Alice. Okay, so the term spotter, uh, Boob and I came up with, my brother Robert Ramsey, the co-founder of the Status Initiative. There's three of us, by the way, which the other two have been absent lately, and it's kind of humiliating, really, because I count on them for a lot of things, and uh, I do believe that they could benefit, very greatly benefit from engaging this more often, gain speed, momentum, build energy. Be able to handle their issues in life, which is a primary factor of this page and the work that we're doing here, the projects we launch, the campaigns we run. It's what does that mean? It it's meant to be a training ground for you guys to practice communication, sociability, to get active, and to practice expressing yourself. And in doing so, especially if you follow the guidance that I give you in this regard, and learn to spot cues, learn to press time. You're gonna gain momentum. You're gonna gain energy. This will engaging this. The more that you do it, the more you will benefit from it, and you will gain energy. You'll build momentum. You'll build speed. You'll learn to move faster. You'll learn to do some crazy shit. Now, I'm gonna try to teach you guys, but I really need for you guys to start promoting this. Share these videos. Get the message across, share it with people, recruit people. I've got so many of you here talking about how much you love this and how highly you think of it, and you're directly engaged with it. Some of you, like Randy, Roxas, Alice, you guys are in it to win it. Of course, Special K's out there doing her thing, but you guys are just kind of like, I don't know, maybe you don't get the idea here, like you don't understand. We have to promote this. We have to push this. We don't have time to waste. So I mean, if you've got free time that you're playing around with the page and looking at posts, and what have you, if you've got that free time and you've got the interest to be involved here with me, I need you to get involved with other people, please. Get out there, communicate with each other, network with each other, start socializing, you know, get interactive with your people. That's why we built this thing. And I'm gonna promise you, the more that you do it, the better you're gonna feel. The more you're gonna get stronger in every way, and there are gonna be some things that'll pop up along the way here that are gonna amaze you. You have no idea what you are capable of doing if you just put put some fucking oomph into it. Get up and go. Anyways, the term spotter was made up by Boob and I, uh, as a general reference to anyone that reads the dream. Anybody that's awake and alert and aware, has a degree of lucidity, and understands that the world is alive and communicative, and that there are interactions transpiring, behind the scenes, that there are synchronicities in play. Anybody who's aware of synchronicities and has a certain degree of training and there's no prerequisite for this general reference or inference, but um, anybody who's had any length of practice in this regard, spotting cues, learning to read the world and the prompts and the cues that come up in the environment that will lead you to synchronicities, learning how to negotiate synchronicities, learning how eventually I'm going to show you guys how to use spot casting to arrange and coordinate synchronicities, and it's a lot of fun to be had in playing this game. Let me tell you, it's, I don't know how you guys feel about it. Some of you maybe like I said, it seems like you guys really don't understand what's happening here, but this is an amazing opportunity for you to have a fuck ton of fun and like really get involved in life and do some serious fucking damage to the shit that pisses you off. It pisses all of us off. That's the point of this. We just, oh my god, man, we need you guys to get active. It's like, wake up. What are you doing? I see you. I'm watching you. I know that you're hanging around here. Why aren't you interacting with each other? This is basic. I mean, and that's going to hit at home with the source of the problem. As I said, I identified the value here, but got to cover these bases. So, never mind for now. But spotter is a general reference for, a general term regarding anyone who is in this field. We've given you the definition of it, the working definition of spotter and weightlifting. It's a person who holds the weight to make sure it doesn't fall, and that's what we do. We help people lift the weight of the world. We help people hold up that weight that's on their shoulders, and we help them get through and move faster and take care of things faster. And that's what this is all about. That's what the status initiative is all about. Speeding things up. We have moved ahead. We're the vanguard. We've already learned all these lessons. We've already made all these mistakes. We've already done all the rights and wrongs. We've already practiced with everything. We've dabbled in everything. Amongst the foundation here, myself, Cheeks, Boob, Alice, Crystal's gone, but um, within the range of the foundation, we've covered just about everything there is to be covered. I suppose we have a pretty heavy setback without Crystal, but she was our resident caster, really. But we can cover that still. We know how it operates. We have a general understanding of it, and I'm sure we'll find somebody that can fill that spot if she doesn't return. But um, Crystal, if you do watch this, I do miss you, and I do wish you would return. But anyways, we use spotter as a general reference because there's so many different titles and names for different sorts of people and monks and priests and fucking teachers of this sort or that, instrumentalists, mechanics, what have you, all different titles for different sorts of people that are all practicing the same thing, really. So I mean, we simplify that into one single term: a spotter. Spotter helps lift the weight of the world, helps another person lift that weight, take care of issues for them, looks out for them, just like in sniping, using a sniping rifle. Fucking, the dude with the spotter, the dude with the whatever it is, the long range magnifying scope that watches out for targets. We watch out for problems. We watch out for because we can see better. We can see more clearly. Our perception is fine tuned to see how synchronicities play out, to see how values are going to fall into place, to watch values. As spotters, anybody who sees values in play, really, and can watch them and coordinate them to some degree. And so, a spotter sees values in play. We can see targets, threats coming. We can see opportunities coming. We watch out for this and we direct people. We guide them. We help. Traditionally, a spotter, in our tradition, as it were, which goes back way, way. Ariel taught me about this, the whole Beshan concept, and the passing on the language that spotters make. which is something we'll get into. I'll make videos about that eventually. I used to post, definitions for certain words that were added to it, but that's a different issue. Um, our tradition goes way way back, and it's basically, you could describe it as being the same sort of thing that like the Jedi was based on in Star Wars. It's the same sort of thing. uh, Traditionally, a spotter would be someone who would practice in all of this and gain everything they could out of the world, and learn as much as they could, and then they would train somebody else. And how the tradition passes on is one-on-one training. A spotter would take on an initiate, or an apprentice, so to speak. The initiate term is for the initiative, obviously, but a spotter would take on an apprentice one-on-one, train them, give them everything they had to give, teach them everything that they had to teach, and then that apprentice would go forth into the world and take on the world as their master, as their mentor, the living world itself, because now they've been taught to communicate with the world and see that it's alive and to be active and engaged with it. And so they would then go on and let the world train them and teach them anything else that they had to learn. And an apprentice gets to a point, when that spotter gets to a point that they feel as though they've learned enough and they've gained a solid groundwork to train another, then they would go and train another person and pass on that legacy, pass on the history, pass on the truth, essentially the reality, and help people to make their own reality, help people to decide for themselves who and what they are, and make use of it, make use of this personality to the most, to the best benefit possible, most efficiently. And once a spotter has trained somebody, and once they've successfully trained somebody, this can be a difficulty. I've had many students that will drop out. They'll get offended by something, or they'll get upset with something, or it'll be too overwhelming for them at some point, and they'll drop out. And I've had students that have been gone for 10 years before they come back, but they always do. They always come back, and eventually the training is finished. But I have some still hanging on. I have one student in particular that's a real big deal for me, and we're gonna get that person in particular to the very highest level we possibly can. We're gonna make that person an incredible asset. They're gonna do some serious damage in this fight. Watch. I'm building a secret weapon here with this person. But once an apprentice, or at this point an operative, a spotter, has successfully trained another person sufficiently for them to go off on their own, then that spotter would, in the aspect, in regards to this particular tradition that we've passed on, they would go on what we would call a pilgrimage. They would, let their intuition guide them, let the world and synchronicity guide them to a certain place, and they would go there and they would seek their trial, their ultimate challenge, their ultimate mission in life, their objective, and they would take that on. My first student was Megan Lee Ritchie, Megan Lee Ramsey now, Sweetie Cheeks, super Sweetie Cheeks, and she became such a wonderful, amazing person. Like, she advises me now. I wouldn't make it without her. She's wise beyond us all, really. And you know, I successfully trained her, and I went on to train a few other people and dealt with a lot of issues. But ultimately, my pilgrimage, as it would happen to turn out, is this. My pilgrimage is you guys. And it's setting a new standard, because traditionally spotters would train one-on-one. But here we are raising the bar, setting a new standard, where we are uh, attempting to effectively, oh crap, we're attempting to effectively train multiple people at a time via internet, which is particularly difficult. It's tough to get values across when you're not in person, but we're managing it, and I'm learning how to spotcast through Messenger and Twitter and whatnot. So it's effective, it's workable. But It's very difficult. That's why we want to get this thing moving faster so that we can get to the point where we can actually build a groundwork to set up at, a sort of a sanctuary where we can meet up and run a training program here and get things moving, you know, really get things moving. And we have the intention of training multiple people, like classes, courses, and we have spotters. We do have other spotters that are here, and you can engage them if you want to. If you want to, you can ask me about them. If you want to learn certain things, if there's something you're particularly interested in that you'd like to learn about, we have a spotter that can give you that. But uh, it's just that for whatever reason, they're, in the background. Everybody prefers to be in the background, and it's because you're afraid. Sorry, I love you guys so much. You know that you're my heart. I would fucking die for every one of you. But fuck me, are you a bunch of cowards? This is important. You guys need to step the fuck up and get in the game, dude. Stop being bitches. Seriously. I apologize. I don't want to be hostile with you, but this is getting tired, man. You guys need to step up and put something. I mean, you have no idea how great you're gonna feel about it when you actually get in the fucking game and play. You've been trained. You all have the proper training for this, and you have such high potentialities, and you're just wasting your fucking time right now. It's very, very off-putting. Really, it hurts me physically. Anyways, so that would be the tradition of a spotter. Now, the term operative um, is meant to denote anybody who is a potential spotter and anybody who is a part of this initiative, which are people all over the world. They call themselves light workers. They call themselves, Palladians. They call themselves indigo children. They call themselves all kinds of weird different titles that are purposeless and redundant. They're spotters. Simple, basic, standard, easy. And that's what the status initiative is primary tasking. Our goal is to bring everything that we have into the simplest possible measure so that we can get it across quickly and easily. Take everything that we know, all the mistakes that we've made, all the lessons we've learned, and compound them and give them to you. Give those values to you so that you can get up to speed with us and move faster. We need to move along faster. So that is the purpose of the status initiative, is to take everything that we've learned, everything we hold dear, everything we know to be, and get it across immediately so that you guys in coming generations, you anybody who's involved with this, you're an operative. You were born into this. You came here to do this. That's why you are here. That's why we call you an operative. Well, I mean, you become an operative once you wake up and get with the program and realize that you are indeed here for this reason. That this is a part of your destiny to help us fight for this cause, to help us eliminate cognitive dissonance, to eliminate divisions, to save the fucking world from its own careless recklessness. We are an antivirus for the plague that is killing us and our planet. That's what we're here to do. And we need to spread out like fucking wildfire. We can't sit on our hands. We need to start moving, guys. Be bold, be brazen. You're going to feel fucking awesome about it once you actually do it. There's nothing to be afraid of, I promise you. Every one of you are ready to rock and roll, man. You're like a time bomb that's just stuck. In any case, operatives are anybody who has these terms, who thinks this way, anybody who's a part of this practice, who's in this field. You are an operative. You came here to do this. It is your destiny. The initiative is meant to get us all on page, to make things move smooth and fast, to network everybody, to get things together, to get rocking and rolling. Now, speak to color coding. You know what? Fuck that. I'm gonna clip this here at 19 minutes because that's, it's more likely that you guys with the extremely, the increasingly decreasing fucking limited attention spans that you guys seem to have, maybe you'll watch it at 20 minutes. So I'm gonna clip this here. That's gonna be speaking to the nature of our tradition, ultimately to, what was at first the garden program, then the offsets of Project Philanthropy, and eventually became the Status Initiative, which is here to wake everybody up, move everybody faster, get on the ball, take care of business. Because I don't know if you guys don't care, or if you haven't noticed, or maybe you're seriously that distracted, but we as a culture, as a global organization, have a serious fucking problem that we need to deal with now. So, I mean, you can either blow me off here and be a coward and be weak and be careless and say, no, you know what, I don't need to help humanity for whatever reason you have. Or you can just snap to, get in a fight, and fuck me. I promise you, you're going to feel built. You're going to feel like you hit that jackpot, like you filled that void finally. Because that's what it is. That's what that void in you is. That's what you're trying to fill with maybe drugs, maybe sex, whatever you're using to try and fill that empty spot in you. This is it. Wake up. Clipping this here, 21 minutes. If you guys watch it, fucking promote it. Get this message across. Thank you. Kila Salai Terve Uni Siari Namaste.